like I said, this is part two. I have no doubt that I'm being manipulated, and to the nth degrees. Now, of course, it makes like when I speak about it, it's like, duh, of course. But you are so pushed to a level of almost retardation that this is something that can make you subscribe to. Somebody via V2K now starts saying, first of all, they try to intimidate me. You have no part. They're gonna castrate me. What does they? What validation is that? Nothing. They just want you to be intimidated into accepting this falsification of reality. Then somebody say, oh, black girls. They want you to be like, oh, when you think about black girls, these ways of reacting is natural. Of course, I know it's falsified. It happened on August 19, 2019. Since then, it's been nasty by pedophilia things that forced me to experience, especially with black little girls. They have been doing this pedophilia type of torture, not only to me, but to many others. They want me to be doubtful because this number was something else than what I thought. They have been doing these pedophilia things to me, and you know yourself. You know it's not true. You know I'm black girls and I get stimulation. It's like, no, what we did is like we made you think the way you would think when you were a child. Yeah. We are mapping your brain to think the way you... Stupidity. Try to make me accept these things. While you know that no one need to do a pedophilia type of torture, but guess what they do to children? They torture children even sexually. And you've been validated. Not because you're going to be castrated or because they're going to be castrated. Because somebody said, I've seen this 3-year-old grab his crotch because they were torturing his testicles. That's reality. I don't need to make them dream about it. I don't need to manipulate their brain. I don't need to tell them how they have no parts or how they're going to be tortured or going to get raped. They know that that's reality. Not because they guessed the wrong number or they thought the number was higher than or lower than another number that they thought was another number. No, because somebody literally said that. You understand? So target and vigil, they truly want you to think in this illogical, retarded way. You hear somebody saying retardations, insanity, those words coming from other target individuals because this is how they make you think. Right now, they're making me think of a black little girl giving the stimulations and say, no, that's how you think when you were a kid. On top of everything that you already know, you get another level of validation when you find out that those entities who are funding this program, that are running this program, that is contracting this low life, those governmental entities, this intelligence community, actually do have a problem with some pedophilia issues. To add to this validation that not only these people manipulate people to think about children in this sexual way, hurt and torture children for the purpose of this technology. Obviously, they want samples even from children. They need to see the result of the torment even applied onto children. That is science. This is technological. They want to be they want to have the ability of torturing and the ability of manipulating children and see the reaction of what a child reacts and how he reacts and how it impacts the target individual if the target individual has children and see their own children being tortured. They want sufferance so they can analyze the sufferance and they can implement the sufferance more and more. So if it's going to drive more sufferance to a target individual who sees their child suffer, they're going to do that. I've understood what this is about. They are developing a technology that is used for weapons. I'm a civilian. There's nothing I can do against military-grade weaponry, especially at that level of sophistication. And so they're going to do whatever they can to break you down and make you feel any psychological sufferance, physical sufferance, anything else. And you're going to have to subscribe. Well, you're not going to subscribe, but they're going to try to make you subscribe to this. Right now, they're making me think of a black little girl and try to give me stimulations. I was on the call. Somebody said something about her 4-year-old niece, right? And the reason why this person was saying that is because they were trying to make me think of me as a child doing something super stupid. And when I mean a child, I mean in middle school. I was in 8th grade. And I did something stupid as a kid who just turned 14 years old, right? And it's an impulsive moment of a child doing something stupid to himself. But they've been trying to change that to make me feel like I was experiencing stimulation and sensations, which is what they make me experience. It's falsified. They even give me stimulation when I'm thinking about that memory because they can manipulate memory to experience it in different ways. But it's my memory when I was a child that's being manipulated. And this woman who has children knows that I know that these people torture children even younger than a 4-year old, but wants me to somehow block out the fact that I know that they torture kids in sexual matters too, which is foul. To torture kids, period, but even is super foul. They hurt children in matters that are sexual. She says that, I respond, ouch, because one woman who's a target individual teaches children, and to break her down, they were torturing children that she was teaching. They were and the kids that she was teaching, most of them have some kind of mental handicap. We talk about autism, Down syndrome, and other mental handicap. And they were torturing them. We're not talking about decades ago. We're talking about not too long ago, 2018 or so. Being tortured. Kids. And she knows I know that. And she wants me to think, oh no, I should think about me when I was a child. And you have to manipulate this thing because they even go to the extent, oh, you molested her. You use like disgusting things they say. To try to exaggerate what a child in 8th grade, in middle school, did to himself. They have to exaggerate that while they're in a program that is torturing babies as young as 3-week-old. And try to make me think that I'm going to let them escape in this fantasy they put together. And they tell me how I'm going to be raped and tortured, and in a way to disorient me from the fact that I know that these mean people are torturing even infants and want them to go into the escapism of a reality they put together. I will run to my torture, knowing them well, the people torturing me are in a program that is torturing babies. This is foul. And you know, the other ways of making me think. It's so disgusting. They're even bringing up some other. They try to paint things in your head to create a pattern, and it's in your childhood. And they were making me think. I remember when I was in middle school, they were bringing, and I'm saying that they're making me salivate and all that. It's all part of this nasty pedophilia things they like to do. And they were bringing, like, I think they were bringing this kid to shower, to wash. And I'm in middle school. I'm watching TV in a room where there's a TV, the shower is in the room. I'm watching the kid come and look at the kid and whatever. Just, you know, like they didn't faze me. But now they try to make me imagine now you're looking at it, you're trying to try to create some BS stories. Well, in reality is, not only these people manipulate people to think in these pedophilia ways, but the entities contracting these bottom feeders have done things to 2-year-old and 6-year-olds, and for me they have to come up with stories. And like, oh, they saw that. They saw you when pathetic. Well, these people work for pedophiles. And they really go into the repetitions, which is a tactic the CIA have been utilizing to disorient you. And they are trying to make me imagine, like, yo, it's not the first time you're looking now. I'm like, no, I don't care if the kid can walk or whatever. They try to make me imagine how you're looking. So sad. But I understand. Their job is to create sufferance, even psychological sufferance. And pedophilia has been a tool they've been using to push people to feel sufferance, psychological sufferance. It is extremely disgusting and low lifeness of them. But these government entities need individuals like them to do what they're doing so they can improve this technology that can do so much to your brain. This is a weapon system at this point, but it can do so much good things. It's a weapon applied onto us. Well, I know that they actually torture babies. They torture them sexually. At one point, they were doing this other thing where they would try to make me think I'm doing these reports. I'm putting numbers together, and I see a number that's just kind of off or whatever. In my head, they're like, okay, just because the number is off, you just kind of make it look good. Don't make it too highlighted. It's not. It's not even something drastic. It's just small. It's like a small percentage off, with like little difference. It's basically at that benchmark, but it's a little lower than the benchmark. Very, very low. In my head, I start making imagine, just to make me think how like you see, you're trying to cover up reality. And they try to make me imagine, like make me think, oh, but just if you put that a little lower, she's not gonna notice that the percentage, like, oh, and like you see proof. You try to cover up the reality. No, listen. When you present a report, of course you want to tell a story. You don't want to make it alarming. You don't want to be too scary. Like, so you kind of create a story that's not even, but you make sure that you present it in a proper light. You don't want to make something bigger than what it is and stuff like. So I understand. But they make me think this way so they can come back. When in reality, this is nothing. Look, this is 1% of benchmark. It's so minuscule. It wouldn't even like. I'll be like, okay, just like for 1%. It's stupid. And like, you see that proof. You see, if you could do this in a report, what you're doing about when we talk about you, where you try to cover up reality. These people are specializing in deceptions and manipulation and falsifications. Their life consists of trying to manipulate you into accepting that something that's completely falsified. It's super obvious that they do this period of torture. It's super obvious they manipulate people's thoughts. It's super obvious that memory being manipulated, that you are no longer being yourself. Everything is being rewired in something else. The way they try to paint you is so falsified. Everything is as obvious as it gets, but they're like, oh, but you see that benchmark, that 2%, you try to put it, so the report looks a little bit better. So you try. And obviously, that's what they do. And so, target individual, do not let them vilify you, not even vilify you, to try to, what they're doing to you. They're going to take advantage of anything to try to paint you in ways. I'm not perfect. I know my imperfection. This is nothing. But to try to use things that are not relatable to be like, you see how you do this and that means we're not, please. I know what you guys do to people. I know the manipulations. I know me. I know I'm talking to people who are here in a program that is raping women to suicide. You are manipulating people in these pedophilia ways. You are torturing children. And you tell me that I'm the benchmark, and they try to make, you see, I try to change the benchmark a little bit like that. It's not even trying to change. It's trying to like show like, okay, this is the benchmark. And it's them pushing me to think this way, but because it's not something great, like I'm like, oh, maybe I could think in this way. I could just like change it, not change, but kind of not, not make it as obvious, because it's such a small percentage. But they make me think this way so they can be like, you see, charlatan. Target individuals. I describe what happens to me because these are different tactics once you are put in this program to make you accept things that you know are not true. And even though it sounds almost illogical when I speak about it, when they manipulate your brain, these things are said can make sense. So when you see a target individual look like he's just like fatigued and just being pushed to a sense of illogicalness, it almost sounds like insanity. It's because when you put in this program, they are truly pushing you to think in ways that are just irrational, illogical, and damn near on the retardation side of things. And they truly use childlike individuals whose job, as they are meant to make you think in this retarded way. I'm sorry to say, in this stupid ways. I keep using this language. I'm sorry. My brain is I'm too fatigued to think of something else more eloquent to say. But at that level of just frustration, that's the word I want to say, because it's just like unbelievably just spectrum-like. It's unbelievable, and you see it doing it. They do this thing because they try to gaslight you. That word I've been using a lot. They try to put doubts in you, make you feel doubtful of who you are because of something that has nothing to do with anything that's happening to you, but because they want you to be like, oh, you see how you do that? That's like, yeah, that's like deceptive. And it's like, you see, you're trying to you're trying to not show that it went below the benchmark here. So what we're doing to target individual, stay strong. They will do everything possible to make you doubtful. I have zero doubt. Zero. Zero. And they truly want you to start thinking, oh, but see how you thought like that. No. You still have to be working. You still have to know how to present things and present information and present what target. But for me, everything is try to go back to, you see, that's what you're saying. For me, when I make these videos, I try to go through everything and make me think of, and the way they manipulate me. Even the things that me as a child, I try to talk about it, but I don't give details specifically. I just say I did something as a child to myself when I was a kid. They try to exaggerate to another level. That's all I need to say. But for them, people who are rewiring you in this pedophilia ways, they're gonna look for whatever they can to manipulate you and to make you experience it and make you think that this is a proof. When you know them well, first of all, I'm not a child. And lastly, that you're making me feel something that I didn't even experience when I was a child. But most importantly, because a child can do something impulsively, you're trying to create false patterns. Of course I know that, but they also do the pedophilia type of torture. So they're really doing their best to try to make you think in these phrases of, oh, black girls, no, black girls is you. Black girl, remember what you did, black girl. And then when I see a black girl, they give me weird stimulation, then they make it seem like I felt like that when I was a child, and it's like, what? Do you understand the illogicalness of that? Well, you understand that do the pedophilia type of torture, and almost all target individuals are forced to think in this disgusting pedophilia ways, and you're like, I'm a 30-some-year-old man, what do you mean, black girl? So you gotta be understanding. They are rewiring you. They are changing who you are and making you be something that you're not. And you know they don't even torture children. How much validation can one person have to see these bottom feeders for what they are? A lot. You already have a lot. I already have a lot to see them truly for what they are. I know from this point on, every time I experience something that is not natural, is what they do to me. Every time I look at a child, there'll be some stimulation, there'll be some reactions of some sort. Then they'll try to create a battle in my brain. It's going to be like that for the rest of my life, because that's what they do. I know it's what they do. I know that's what they're going to continuously do to me, and I understand. These people have there's nothing too low, and they torture even infants. So what can you do to you, an adult man? So stay strong, and know that justice will be done for the nasty things they've done to you, to the children they've tortured, and to the women they've been torturing. They are nasty bottom feeders. And they're torturing children even today. So stay strong and be glad that you're not having to live this bottom feeder life.